I never thought I'd turn a quiet Sunday morning into a felony-level spectacle. But there I was, gripping the cyclic like it was the throat of every busybody who'd ever crossed me. Karen's SUV, that Godoffel pearl-white Escalade with the CEO boss lady vanity plate, sat parked smack in the middle of my helipad. Tires sunk into the fresh concrete I'd poured just last month after the HOA approved my aviation enhancement variants. As the Tiltrotor's props whipped up a hurricane-force downdraft, ripping her side mirror clean off and hurling it into the azaleas. I heard her scream pierce the cockpit feed. "You psycho. That's my car. Yeah, lady. And this is my sky." What started as a petty HOA feud had escalated faster than a viral TikTok rant. And I was done playing nice. I'd bought this McMansion in Willow Creek Estates 5 years ago, fresh off my Silicon Valley windfall, figuring the gated community would be a buffer from the world. But Karen Hargrove, self-proclaimed neighborhood guardian and executive VP at some mid-tier fintech firm, had other plans. She chaired the HOA board like it was her personal fiefdom, enforcing rules with the zeal of a drill sergeant on Red Bull. No, you couldn't paint your mailbox hunter green. Yes, your Christmas lights had to come down by January 2nd, or she'd slap you with a $500 fine. And God forbid you hosted a barbecue without inviting her lactose-intolerant ass. It all boiled over last Tuesday. I'd filed for permission to install the helipad. Nothing crazy. Just a 50 by 50 slab for my Bell V280 Valor. The Tiltrotor I'd splurged on after cashing out my startup. FAA cleared it. County zoning nodded. Even the HOA bylaws had a clause for auxiliary landing zones if you donated to their slush fund. I ponied up $10,000 for the community pool upgrade. And boom, approval stamped. Karen, though, she saw it as a personal affront. Helicopters? In a family neighborhood? She'd screeched at the board meeting, her double chin quivering under those overplucked brows. Next thing you know, we'll have low-flying drug runners and noise pollution waking the children. I should have seen the sabotage coming. By Friday, my contractor texted, "Site's clear," but some Karen type blocked the driveway with her beast of an SUV. Says it's protest parking. Sure enough, there she was, legs splayed on a folding chair beside the Escalade, sipping a Starbucks Veni like she was staging a sit-in at Selma. "Move it, Karen," I said, phone in hand for the cops. "This is private property," she smirked, adjusting her oversized sunglasses. "Call them. Hotshot. I'll have you cited for aviation hazards before your rotors even spin." Willow Creek is about community, not your midlife crisis toys. That's when the betrayal hit home. See, I trusted her once. Back when I moved in, single and flush with options, Karen had cornered me at the welcome potluck. "New blood," she'd purred, pressing a store-bought quiche into my hands while her husband, that whipped milquetoast Gary, hovered like a bad smell. She flirted shamelessly, lingering touches, accidental brushes against my arm, whispering about how the board needed fresh perspectives like mine. I bit, thinking maybe she was just lonely in that loveless marriage of hers. We grabbed drinks once, twice, nothing physical, but enough late-night texts that Gary started side-eyeing me at block parties. Then, poof, she ghosted, right after I backed her in that nasty election against old Mrs. Patel. Turns out, she used me to clinch the vote, then flipped the script when my helipad dream surfaced. Revenge? Hell, this was restitution. By Sunday, I'd had it. The Valor was fueled, pre-flight checks green, and my lawyer buddy in the loop with a dashcam feed. I could have towed her ass, $300 a headache, but where's the poetry in that? No, I wanted spectacle. Controversy. The kind that lights up next door and buries her in the court of public opinion. So I fired up the bird, the engine's whining to life like a V8 muscle car on steroids. From the air, Willow Creek looked like a Monopoly board gone wrong. Cookie-cutter colonials with manicured lawns. Karen's eyesore of a minivan in every driveway but mine. I circled once, low and slow, letting the wash buffet her precious flower beds. Petals exploded like confetti. Her no-drone zone signs somersaulted into the neighbor's koi pond. She bolted from the chair, arms flailing, that moo-moo of hers billowing like a parachute in reverse. Stop. You'll kill someone. Bullshit. The Valor's got precision down to the inch. I hovered dead center, props at full tilt, the downdraft pinning her against the garage door. Her screams mixed with the rotor's slap, pure symphony. Then, the kiss, skids kissing tarmac. Just enough weight to crumple the Escalade's hood like tinfoil. Airbags popped with a whomp. Glass spiderwebbed, and her hubcaps rolled off like escaped hula hoops. I killed the engines, hopped out of my Ray-Bans, and sauntered over as sirens wailed in the distance. You monster, she gasped, clawing her way out the passenger door, mascara running in black rivers down her puffy cheeks. That's a $120,000 vehicle. I'll sue you into oblivion. I crouched to her level, voice calm as a TED Talk. File it under trespass gone wrong, Karen. Zohua Bilo, page 47. Subsection C. Unauthorized parking on private aviation facilities voids all liability for damages. Read it lately. Her face purpled, literal aneurysm material. You're lying. I wrote those bylaws. The neighbors piled out like it was the Super Bowl halftime show. Old man Jenkins with his beer gut and binoculars, the yoga moms in their Lululemon. Phones aloft, even Gary, fumbling his vape pen. Holy shit. Karen, you okay? He bleated, but she swatted him away like a gnat. This man's a terrorist. Call Homeland Security. Laughter rippled through the crowd. Edgy. Disbelieving. Jenkins chuckled. Serves you right. Hargrove, remember when you fined me for that bird feeder? Cops arrived in under 5. Lights flashing, but no rush. Officer Ramirez, a local who chopper fished with me once, took one look and stifled a grin. Mr. Ellis, we had a call about an aircraft assault. I handed over the paperwork. Deed. Variance. Dashcam footage of her parking stunt. Karen lunged for the phone, but Ramirez blocked her. Ma'am, step back. This looks like mutual escalation. Mutual? She parked on a helipad. I landed on private property. End of story. But oh, it wasn't. Not by a long shot. As they towed her crumpled ride, fender dangling like a broken limb, Karen whipped out her phone, live streaming to her 2K followers on HOA Heroes United. Neighbors, this madman just destroyed my car because I stood up for our quiet streets. Who's with me? Comments flooded in. Justice for Karen. Aviation terrorism. But then Jenkins piped up on camera. Bull. She blocked his legit helipad after he donated 10 grand to the pool. The tide turned. Laughing emojis. Karen memes spawning in real time. By noon, Willow Creek was a circus. News vans clogged the cul-de-sac. Reporters shoving mics at anyone with a pulse. Is this the death of suburban civility? One breathlessly intoned. Karen, bandaged knee and all, hammed it up. It's class warfare. Tech bros versus real Americans. Real Americans? Lady, your real is a $900,000 house on my tax dollars' coattails. I stayed silent, letting the footage speak. By evening, her stream had flipped, 60% thumbs down. Calls for her resignation flooding the HOA inbox. That night, alone in my great room with a bourbon neat, I scrolled the fallout. Gary had texted, first time in months, dude, sorry. She's unhinged. Divorce papers incoming. Unhinged. Understatement. But the real knife twist came at 2 a.m., a ping from an unknown number. Karen, you think you won? I know things about you. That startup windfall? Shady as hell. One call to the SEC, and your empire crumbles. Blackmail? From the Queen of Petty Fines? I screenshotted it. Forwarded to my attorney. Game on. Bitch. Monday dawned with subpoenas and summonses. Karen's lawyer, a sleazy ambulance chaser from the strip mall, filed for an emergency injunction, claiming emotional distress and property destruction. Emotional? Her Escalade looked better post-landing than her marriage. Court was set for Wednesday, but the real battle brewed online. Helipad hero trended locally. My anonymous ex account dropping receipts, scans of her sabotage emails, audio of her boardroom tantrums. Karen Hargrove, protecting neighborhoods or padding her ego. Views hit 50K by lunch. She countered with a pity party presser from her driveway. Gary lugging boxes to a U-Haul behind her. This community has been poisoned by greed, she sobbed. Kleenex to nose. But the crowd, thinned to a dozen loyalists, muttered. One yoga mom yelled, "You find my kid's lemonade stand." The reporter from Channel 7 ate it up. But nationally, crickets. My Tiltrotor stunt had gone viral on Reddit's r/public freakout. POV, you piss off a billionaire with a helicopter. Upvotes, 120K. Comments roasted her. Classic Karen. Parks on Helipad. Cries when sky falls. Tuesday, the HOA board convened an emergency session, sans Karen, who'd been excused pending investigation. I crashed it via Zoom. Casual in a polo. Folks, let's cut the drama. I followed every rule. She didn't. Nods all around. Jenkins moved to dissolve her chairmanship, passed 5-0. By midnight, the group chat exploded. Karen's out. New elections next month. Her downfall accelerated like a greased slope. Wednesday's hearing? A joke. Judge Harlan, a grizzled vet with zero patience for HOA histrionics, watched the dash cam, snorted, and dismissed her suit. Counselor, your client trespassed on approved aviation real estate. Damages? On her. Case closed. Karen bolted from the gallery, heels clacking, straight into a swarm of podcasters hawking Karen Chronicles merch. But the bitter pill? It wasn't the fine, $15K for my concrete repairs, or the community service she dodged by pleading stress leave. No, it was Gary's filing, irreconcilable differences, citing emotional abuse and financial mismanagement. Turns out, she drained their savings on that Escalade lease. Maxed the cards on HOA advocacy trips to Vegas. He got the house. She got a studio apartment in the sketchy part of town, the kind with roaches bigger than her grudges. I spotted her once, months later, at the Walmart on the edge of Willow Creek. Faded yoga pants, hair in a limp ponytail, pushing a cart piled with ramen and off-brand wine. Our eyes met in the cereal aisle, hers red-rimmed, mine steady. "Ellis," she hissed, voice a ghost of its former bark. "You ruined me." I grab a box of Captain Crunch, tossed it in my basket. "Nah, Karen, you parked on your own grave. Next time, read the fine print." As I walked away, the fluorescent buzz overhead felt like victory lights. Willow Creek healed, new board. Laxer rules. Even a neighborhood fly-in barbecue where my valor stole the show. Me, I sold the place last spring. Traded up to a ranch in Montana with acres of unrestricted sky. No more Karens. Just eagles and endless blue. But damn, if that landing doesn't still make me grin. Revenge isn't sweet, it's supersonic. The dust from Karen's implosion hadn't even settled when the real storm hit. Not from her, but from the vultures circling my windfall. See, in the valley, success is a magnet for leeches. And my Helipad heroics painted a target on my back bigger than her SUV's grill. By Thursday, my inbox overflowed. Interview requests from Vice, the anti-Karen revolution. Cease and desist from her fintech overlords, claiming defamation via Rotor. And, weirdest of all, a DM from an old flame named Tessa. Saw the video. Hot as hell. Drinks. Tessa and I went way back. Stanford lab partners turned sloppy hookups. Parted amicably when she chased med school in Boston. Now, a ER doc in the Bay. She was all sharp wit and curves that begged for trouble. We met at a dive in Palo Alto. Her scrubs swapped for jeans that hugged like a second skin. "So, you really mulched a CEO's caddy?" she laughed, clinking her IPA against mine. Ballsy, but it felt biblical. We talked till last call, with divorce fresh, my bachelor pad echoing. By week's end, she was crashing at mine, turning the great room into a war zone of takeout boxes and tangled sheets. "This place is obscene," she'd tease, lounging on my Eames sofa in nothing but my Oxford shirt. Helipad billionaire buys girl a pizza? Charming. But beneath the banter, there was heat, the kind that burns slow, then consumes. For the first time since the startup grind, I felt seen, not sized up for the net worth. Karen, meanwhile, simmered in irrelevance. Her HOA Heroes page tanked to 47 followers, mostly bots and that one aunt from Ohio. She tried to come back, a Substack rant titled Sky Tyrants, How Elites Silence the Voiceless, but it read like a bad Lifetime script. All victimhood and zero self-roast. Comments? Touch grass. Karen. Or a rotor. Gary's divorce dragged. He confided over fence beers that she'd hidden a gambling habit, racking up $80,000 in markers. Always the control freak, he sighed. Even lost the house poker nights to prove a point. Willow Creek buzzed with schadenfreude. The new board, Jenkins as interim prez, axed half the bylaws. Threw a helipad hoedown in my honor. Neighbors I'd nodded at for years now slapped my back like we were brothers in arms. "You gave her the boot she deserved," a soccer dad grinned, passing a solo cup of Bud Light. Even Mrs. Patel baked me samosas, whispering, "Karma's a bitch." No, I played it cool. But inside, vindication tasted like craft IPA, hoppy, with a bitter finish. Tessa stuck around through it all, her shifts a blur of gunshot wounds and flu fevers. We'd escaped to the hills, Valor humming as we skimmed Napa vineyards at dusk. "This beats Uber," she'd yell over the rotors, wind whipping her ponytail. Sex in the cockpit? Let's just say zero grav, foreplay hits different. But cracks showed by month 2. She'd grill me on the shady windfall Karen had threatened. Turns out, my exit from the startup involved a quiet NDA over some IP fudges. Nothing criminal, I assured her, but her doc's eyes narrowed. Trust is surgery. Alex. One slip, and it's septic. The backlash from Karen's camp peaked at the annual block party. Irony's cruel joke. Same weekend as her alimony hearing. She'd shown up uninvited, gaunt in an ill-fitting sheath dress, clutching a manila folder like a shield. "I'm appealing the board's decision," she announced to the grill smoke, voice cracking on the edges. Crickets. Then Jenkins, "Take it up with the covenants." Hargrove. "Your trace." "Oh, wait." Laughter erupted. Someone lobbed a water balloon that splattered her Manolos. She zeroed in on me. Folder thrust like a dagger. "Ellis, you think this is over? I have proof. Your donation was a bribe." Tessa, arm looped in mine, snorted. "Bribe? Honey, that's called dues. Pay up or shut up." Karen's eyes bulged, that obese frame trembling. "Who the hell are you?" His gold digger's side piece. Tessa stepped forward, all 5'4" of righteous fury. ER physician, actually, and the woman who's going to testify why you need a psych eval. Stud. The party devolved into chaos, Karen shrieking obscenities, Gary hauling her away as she clawed at his polo. "Let go, you limpdick enabler." Phones captured all by Monday. Karen's meltdown 2.0 racked 2 M views. Her job? Gone. Fintech fired her for conduct unbecoming, citing the viral vids as reputational risk. She lawyered up for unemployment. But whispers said she'd settled for a payout to avoid deeper digs into those Vegas tabs. Tessa and I rode the high weekend in Tahoe, snowmobiling till our thighs burned. But doubt crept in like cabin fever. Late one night, post-coital glow fading, she traced the scar on my chest from a roid rage bar fight in college. That NDA. Was it worth it? I hedged. Past life. Babe. We're golden now. Lie. The startup's ghost haunted me. Co-founder suicide after our mutual split. Buried under NDAs, but festering. Karen's bluff had nicked the scab. Fall brought change. Tessa aced a fellowship in Seattle. I pitched her the move. Fresh start. No hoafid. Think about it, I said. Valor idling on the pad. She kissed me fierce. I am. But secrets? They crash harder than Tiltrotors. We tabled it. But the seed sprouted resentment. Meanwhile, Karen hit rock bottom, evicted from her studio for non-payment, crashing on Gary's couch till he changed the locks. Next door lit up with sightings, her dumpster diving at the old estates, muttering about conspiracies from above. Thanksgiving. Tessa flew home. I hosted solo, turkey charring as I doom-scrolled her woes. A ping. Anonymous tip to my lawyer. Karen's proof? Fabricated emails. Forged timestamps. She doxed herself trying to dox me. I laughed. Hollow. Then poured another scotch. Victory felt pyrrhic. The sky above my pad suddenly claustrophobic. By New Year's, Tessa's silence stretched to weeks. Need space, her text read. You're a storm. Alex. Fun to ride, but it wrecks. Betrayal anew, not Karen's petty park, but this quiet gut punch. I test flew the Valor that eve, pushing Mach speeds over the Pacific. Rotors screaming release. Below, suburbs sprawled like scars. Willow Creek a speck. Karen a footnote. Spring thawed the freeze. I sold the bird. Too many ghosts in the cockpit. Banked the cash for a quiet life. Tessa? We crossed paths at a conference. Polite nods. No sparks. Karen? Last I heard. Waitressing at a diner off I-5. Tips meager. Grudges monetized on a sad TikTok. Lessons from the landing, she called it. Views, 23. Me? I traded the mansion for a loft in Austin. Music scene. No gates. Barbecues on the balcony. No boards to appease. But some nights, bourbon in hand, I replay the rotor roar. Was it revenge or reckoning? Either way, the tilt shifted and nothing landed square again. Austin suited me like a well-worn pair of Red Wings, scuffed but solid. No pretensions. The loft overlooked Lady Bird Lake. Mornings mist-shrouded. Evenings alive with bats wheeling against the sunset. I dove into consulting gigs, advising startups on disruptive verticals, code for not screwing your co-founders like I had. Therapy helped unpack the NDA baggage. Turns out, guilt's a heavier load than jet fuel. No more Tiltrotors. I stuck to a beat-up Tesla. Top down. Wind therapy on the back roads to Fredericksburg. Willow Creek faded a myth. A group chat I muted months back. Jenkins texted sporadically. Pool's open. Miss your bird. Gary? Radio silence post-divorce. Last paying a LinkedIn congrats on his VP of sales bump. Irony. The whipped one climbing ladders. Karen, though, she haunted the periphery. A digital poltergeist. Her TikToks evolved from rants to redemption arcs. Badly lit confessionals in a booth at that I-5 diner. Grease stains on her uniform. I was the villain once. But growth? It's messy. Likes trickled. Pity swipes from ex-neighbors. Algorithm pity. I ignored it, mostly. Until June, when a client dinner in L.A. detoured me to a dive bar off Sunset. There she was, Karen, nursing a Coors Light. Heavier than ever. That unlikable scowl softened by fluorescent regret. Ellis, she croaked, spotting me at the pool table. Fancy karma dropping you here. I racked the balls. Hugh chalked. Diner not paying enough for Napa. Hargrove, she laughed, wheeze more than mirth, sliding onto a stool. Touché. Actually, bounced from there last week. Attitude adjustment needed. We played 8-ball. Uneasy truce. Turns out, her redemption was a grift. GoFundMe for a HOA reform podcast for $1,000 raised before donors smelled the scam. Gary's settlement? Garnished for debts she co-signed. Lost it all, she admitted. Sinking the 8. House. Job. Dignity. You. Reinventing, I said. Non-committal. Truth? Austin grounded me. But Tessa's ghost lingered. Her last email a scalpel. You land hard. Alex. On everyone. I dated casually, a barista with tattoos. A coder with trust issues, but nothing stuck. Karen. Slurring slightly. Leaned in. That doctor chick? Saw her Insta. Happy. You. The barb landed. I scratched on the brake. Cursed. What do you want? Karen? Absolution. She shrugged. Chugging foam. Nah. Just. Why? The helipad. Was it worth the wreckage? I pocketed the cue. Met her eyes, puffy. Defeated. You started it. Parked on my future. She nodded. Slow. Yeah. Control freak till the end. But hey, your stunt gave me content. And a wake up. We parted with a nod. No hugs. No apologies. Driving back. 101 blurring. I pondered it. Revenge as mirror. Reflecting our shared wreckage. Back in Austin, I texted Jenkins. Any drama? His reply, nah, all zen. Your legend lives. Though, summer deepened. I threw myself into a new venture, an app for community arbitration, AI-mediated HOA spats. Ironic? Hell yes. Beta testers loved it. No more Karens. Launch party at the Continental Club. Blues riffing as I nursed a shiner. That's when Tessa appeared, unannounced, radiant in a sundress. Fellowship badge, clipped her bag. Heard about the app. Thought I'd crash. Heart jackhammered. Seattle treating you? She smiled. Right. Rain's too much. Missed the chaos. We talked till the band's encore. Her on-call burnout. Me on Austin's soul. That landing, she said. Fingers brushing mine. Was it closure or catastrophe? I sipped. Honest. Both. Taught me skies aren't for solo flights. We danced. Awkward at first. Then fluid, her head on my shoulder. Scent of jasmine cutting the smoke. Post-party. My loft. Sheets rumpled. Confessions spilling. I buried the NDA guilt. I admitted. Tracing her spine. Karen's mess forced it up. She propped on elbow. I searching. And now, I want tandem. Fall brought collaboration. Her med tech insights juicing the app. My code hurting her chaos. Willow Creek called once a consult on bylaws. I defer to Jenkins. We're good. Legend. Karen's GoFundMe. Archived. $0 remaining. Last TikTok signing off. Time to park elsewhere. Poetic. But bitterness clings like residue. Winter hit. Tessa pregnant. Surprise pink line on a stick. Our tandem literal. Joy spiked with terror. Fatherhood? Me. The sky crasher? We nested. Loft baby-proofed. Valor memories boxed. One eve. Snow dusting the lake. Tessa scrolled old news. Your stunt's a case study now. Harvard Biz Review. Tiltrotor takedown. When escalation builds equity. I laughed. Hand on her belly. Equity? More like infamy. She kissed me soft. Nah. Catalyst. Karen resurfaced in spring. A letter. Forwarded from the old address. Handwritten. Shaky. Heard your dad. Congrats. Me? Cleaned up. Got a gig at a co-op in Portland. No boards. Just beats. Don't worry. I won't park on your carrots. Enclosed. A $500 check. Scrawled for concrete. Bitter? Nah. Better. I framed it. Rye smile. Revenge's arc, from rotor roar to quiet yield. Life tilted on, messy, mended, sky shared. Fatherhood hit like a Category 5, equal parts awe and apocalypse. Little Ava arrived screaming into an Austin downpour. Tessa's grip iron, as the doc proclaimed. She's a fighter, like her mom. Me, I fumbled diapers like a drunk cue ball. But those midnight feeds, her tiny fist clutching my pinky, rewired something primal. No more solo skies. This was ground control. All in. The app exploded. Arbitrate Now topped app store charts. Features like Karen Detector, AI flag entitlement alerts, going viral. Forbes dubbed me the Helipad Avenger turned Peacemaker. TEDx Invite followed. Tessa thrived in hybrid mode, consulting on telemedicine while Ava napped. Willow Creek, a distant hum. Jenkins retired the helipad tale to legend status. Newbies wide-eyed at barbecues. You really mulched her ride? Karen stayed a whisper. Portland suited her. Apparently, co-op posts showed a slimmer version. Hair, insensible bob. Hawking kale at markets. No dance. Just recipes. From boardroom to beetroot, my glow up. We never connected. Her check cashed for playground mulch. A silent nod. Gary remarried. A yoga instructor half his age. Posting sun salutes from Maui. Life's plot twists. The enabler empowered. But controversy never sleeps. Year 2. A class action suit blindsided us. XHOA tyrants claiming Arbitrate Now defamed them via user reviews. Lead plaintiff? A Karen clone from Scottsdale. Her protest parking vid eerily familiar. My lawyer, same shark from the landing, smirked. Déjà vu. Boss, we settled quiet. Added disclaimers. But the press feasted. Avengers app, savior or stifler? Tessa weathered it. Her comma ballast. Storms pass, she'd say, rocking Ava through colic cries. But privately, doubts nod, my disruptor DNA clashing with her healer's heart. You're building walls, not bridges, she murmured one night. Rain lashing windows. What if Ava inherits the crash? I held her, throat tight. Then we teach her to land soft. Ava's first birthday brought full circle. We flew commercial to California. Irony. Ditching the bird for bassinet seats. Willow Creek gleamed under July sun. The helipad a sun-baked ghost. Azaleas long reclaimed. Neighbors mobbed us. Jenkins with a walker. Toasting to the sky that saved us. Mrs. Patel samosas flowed. Even Gary swung by. Kid-free. Aquabro hug. Heard you're domesticated. Respect. No Karen sighting. Rumor had her in Portland still. Podcasting humble harvests. But as dusk fell, fireflies dancing. A U-Haul rumbled up. Out she stepped, gaunt, gray-streaked, but eyes clear. Heard about the party. Crashed it proper this time. No parking required. Tessa tensed, but I wave her in. Beats treating you? She chuckled, handing Ava a rattle shaped like a carrot. Irony. Huh. From CEO to CSA drone. Small talk bridged the gulf. Her therapy epiphanies. My dad fails. You were right, she said. Voice low. I parked on my own mess. But that landing lit the fuse. Ava cooed, grabbing her finger. Karen's face cracked, vulnerable. Human. The night wound down. Stars pricking the sky. Tessa and I tucked Ava in the guest room. Then joined the stragglers on the deck. Karen lingered, nursing a seltzer. One last thing, she said, pulling a thumb drive. Old files from the board. Thought you'd want M for the app. Real Karen's. Unfiltered. I pocketed it. Nod. Redemption arc complete. Nah, she grinned. First real one I'd seen. Just chapter 2. She drove off at midnight. Taillights fading to taillights. No wreckage. Just road. Back in Austin. The drive unlocked ghosts. Digitized minutes of her tantrums. Blueprints of petty wars. Fed M to the AI, patterns emerged. A Karen Codex, module that predicted escalations. App surged again, but this time with footnotes, inspired by a landing in 23. Ava toddled by 3. Words tumbling up. Dada. Flap. I'd hoist her high. No rotors needed. Tessa and I. Solid. Scars mapped like constellations. We hiked Barton Creek. Her hand in mine. Ava backpacked. Bitter endings, she teased once. Stream gurgling. Yours tasted sweet. Not bitter, I countered. Fermented. Better with time. Get in this boat? It flopped. Too earnest for the outrage machine, but she pivoted to community gardens. Portland's green thumb, her new throne. We followed loosely, a like here, a share there. No friends cheap. But détente, skies cleared. Years blurred. Ava's preschool graduation. App IPO whispers. Tessa's book deal on healing disruptions. Willow Creek sold the pad to a drone hobbyist. Jenkins' last act. Me, I kept the Tesla. Traded scotch for IPAs. Watched bats from the loft. The Tiltrotor? Auctioned to a museum. Suburban skirmish exhibit. One dawn. Coffee steaming. I scrolled an old clip. Rotors chewing metal. Karen's wail. Laughed free. Finally. Revenge? A vector. Not the destination. Life's true arc. From crash to carry. Bitter to Boyd. And in that sky-wide mercy. We all landed. Ask you. But alive.